Samity Samtastic, back with more of this goofy looking hood. Yeah, I paid so much for this crappy outfit. Look at that, there's there's that goofy glitch. Right there, yeah, you can see that. Anyway, back with more Guild Wars, as I wanted to do just a short video where I just show how to go kill Mobrin, Lord of the Marsh, that big Tyrannus boss that's right out here in Sparkfly Swamp, and a whole collection of horrible things happened. First, the new Fraps 3.5 is cool. It seems to do better with the video compression, and definitely it's nice to be able to have one video file instead of one video file every 4 gigabytes. But part of the video got corrupted before when I did this, and then the second time that I tried, I basically just tried to follow up the footage, and when I did that, well, I got interrupted in the middle of it, and then I ended up actually getting a special green drop at the same time from there it is, right there, Mobrin's blade. So that was pretty sweet that I was able to get that, but unfortunately, like, the footage is kind of trashed. So, so in any case, we're going to go do that now. We're going to do it in hard mode just to show that you don't have to fear this guy. And I'm just going to sort of talk about the tactics of the southern Sparkfly Swamp, because it can get a little nasty at times. We're in for some chop.
How can you help me?
I can help you? Who would have thought? Alright, so first thing you want to do is get your there it is. I don't even know why I've got that. That might change some things. No, not too shabby. That's what we're going for. And then people actually have more energy. So throw in your not too shabby title, or at whatever point you are with it, and get your Asuran bodyguard. And you're not the right one. So one of the problems I was noticing with this build I set up with Livia is she doesn't always spam Fever Dreams and Fragility. Something that you can keep in mind is that under controls, you can actually, as an artifact of the old setup, heroes 1, 2, and 3 can all be hotkeyed to use specific skills. So that way you can actually set up hotkeys if there's something that you want to just be able to tell your hero to do. It will do it naturally on whatever you've got targeted, whether that be an enemy or like yourself. And by the way, the hotkey for targeting yourself is F, if you wanted, or any of your other heroes that you select. And that can make life simpler. But I'm just going to leave that up there so that I can monitor her closely and tell her when to do that, which is basically going to be all the time. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that these raptors have a huge patrol arc. And the first thing I like to do is try to get that going on so that I can put weakness on as many of these guys as possible in the beginning. It helps to knock them all down as well. And yeah, like that. That just cast those on anything. I don't care what. Just make them take extra damage and make them all get confused or dazed or whatever it is. So if these kills, if you're not familiar with them, Fever Dreams is amazing. It is an elite hex where, here we are, every 22 seconds, or it lasts for 22 seconds, you can cast it every 10. Foes in the area have any new condition that target foe acquires. Inflicts daze condition on target foe for 3 seconds if that foe has 2 or more conditions, which synergistically with this build that I've got is pretty much they get conditions constantly, and so everybody in the area gets dazed. Really good for breaking up groups of casters if you can get them packed in tightly enough. So we're going to go ahead and hit these raptors. They're going to get kind of conveniently stuck against that little whatever that is. Here we are. And there we are. This is looking great right here. Come on, cast it. Cast it on something. Fragility is amazing. That's the one that makes them take damage every time they gain or lose a condition, and it hexes all foes in the area. Or adjacent foes. Very, very different from in the area, I suppose. So one of the things that you basically want to do when you're coming through here is don't try to cut through groups of enemies that are tight together unless you're using like an increased movement speed skill like fall back. and preferably you don't have an MM that's going to leave like a long trail of undead behind you or spirits. You want to basically make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to get mobbed, because taking on in normal mode it's not too bad, but taking on multiples in these groups in hard mode is easily devastating to your entire group. As I keep saying, it's all about those favorable engagements. There we go. Look how quickly these Angorodons die. That's done, and we got some right over there, but we don't need to worry about those. We're going to hook over this way, and you may see that we've got Mobrin, Lord of the Marsh, right there, and we're going to go ahead and pick off these. And if you basically scoot your way on over here, they're going to make their rounds, and we can just sort of try to catch them along the way. There they are. Okay. And get that weakness on there as quickly as possible, and also be mindful that if they start chasing your guys around, Pain Inverter is really good for that. And there's a possibility that we'll aggro that Angorodon over there as well, but it looks like we're safe for now. We're good on that. There are some more of those over there, but we're going to be kind of hightailing it for Mobrin himself here. And there's a very high possibility that some of our party is going to die right now, but there's also a very high possibility that they're not. If you kind of get pushed up against this wall, he has sort of a large patrol arc that can go a bit of ways from there, but see those raptors over there? We're going to wait for those to pass, and we're going to key our guys back a little bit. Mobrin himself will actually aggro a great distance, and we're going to just peg that Tyrannus to lure him over. And Mobrin specifically, we want to make sure that we have the target on him so that we can get him with Pain Inverter immediately, because it helps whittle him down much more quickly. And then we can kind of push on these raptors here, get them pushed up against the wall, and if you get stuck in the middle of all of them, you can put weakness on everybody. Look, I almost died there. If I weren't a dervish, I probably would have. But that's okay. Look at how we're cleaning them out. We got Pain Inverter full again, and I don't even need it. Look at that. I don't even need it again. You're dead. You are dead. So just got them packed against a bunch of undead and up against a wall so they couldn't run around us. And my heroes stayed back where they should, out of the way. And Mobrin, Lord of the Marsh, has been killed in hard mode without a single casualty. How do you like them apples? And so really the point of this video isn't to show off my skills, but really to build some confidence that he's not as absolutely terrifying and scary as he may seem. It's just about controlling him the right way. Don't let him get in on your casters or he will mess you up really badly. The same is kind of true for the Raptors. It's really good at vanquishing this area, which I did recently because it came up as the Zaishin Vanquish, which is cool. Because I've done it, obviously I'm Legendary Master of the North, I've done it before, but I do enjoy vanquishing still, so the Zaishin Vanquishes make me happy. What was I getting at? Something valuable. Oh yeah, it's usually a good idea to bring some death penalty removal if you're actually trying to vanquish this area, because some of the fights go from like kind of tough to nearly impossible in hard mode if you just start stacking up a little bit of death penalty. So it's good to have some way to remove that if you need to. But it's not necessary in any case if you're a smooth operator, just with a little bit of practice and a little bit of good hero skill bars. So these are actually more terrifying enemies, I think, the Ceratodons. And one of the ways to deal with them is, well, to stun them or to daze them, because then every time you use one of these skills, it interrupts their attacks. That's what dazed does, and you basically keep conditions on them. And if they start using sliver armor, I've got it set up sometime by default. It's set up so that it'll show the icons for it, but I like being able to read the name of the skill because I haven't memorized all the icons, nor do I ever expect to. But they do have sliver armor. Here to explain what I just said, because it was a little bit out there. Under general, where it says I do have show concise names, but it was show text and skill floaters. So instead of like showing the little icon for sliver armor popping up when they use it, it'll actually say sliver armor next to the amount of damage, which I think makes it really, really, really easy to figure out where the damage is coming from when you're taking it, and allow you to sort of figure out the situation if you can actually read it instead of trying to memorize what all those tiny little icons look like. Otherwise you have to basically change your UI size and all that fun stuff. So I like being able to read it, but those guys do use sliver armor, and if you've got Pain Inverter is really, really good at taking them out. There are actually 3 bosses on this map. One of them is one of the Hecate bosses, which is basically like a total pushover. He's kind of useless. And the other boss is a Simian boss who I believe is tucked in this little cove right here, and he's an earth elemental surrounded by a bunch of warriors. And so I may as well, while we're here, go up and pick him off as an extension of this event. I was about to say as well twice. May as well pick him off as well, and I couldn't find my way out of it. So I'll just come clean. That's what happened. Alright, those guys I actually haven't found to be too particularly difficult. They don't do enough damage that putting Pain Inverter on them really seems to do a lot. The most powerful skill that they've got is actually one that I'm rocking here as well, Ravenous Gaze. And it'll return a lot of damage to them. It does help counteract the fact that they would otherwise gain life from that skill, I believe, if I recall correctly. Yep. Steals health, so it'll cause them to lose about half their health bar if they use that on a tightly packed group of enemy or of your heroes and undead minions and stuff. The Ferrothraxes are not too bad. Those are dervishes, if you wondered. But there are a lot of raptors that go running around here. Hey, case in point. So you want to be careful to not let your undead stray too far behind, lest you leave your casters vulnerable. And one of the ways to sort of keep yourself safe is to hug the wall, because many of them don't actually come that close to the walls. And that'll also easily put you in touch with the Simian boss once you come upon him. One of the convenient things is if you just chase the raptors, they'll pretty much always run faster than you. And so their patrol arc will bring them back behind you, and they'll encounter the undead first. So here's one way we can abuse that. There we go. How about that? That was pretty cool, huh? And now they all have weakness on them for like 11 seconds. What is it? 8 seconds? No, 12 seconds. So not too shabby there. Just like my title says. Bottle of grog, feathered longbow. And you're out for the count. So we'll just push our way on up here. Ignore those raptors. One of the ways that I usually do vanquish this zone is I pick off the hardest enemies first, and the Hecate are ridiculously easy. If you start taking on death penalty, you can just go fight Hecate and kill them to gain back your HP, your max HP and MP. So they're really easy, in my opinion. I think they're one of the easiest enemies you have to deal with in hard mode. Oh, this looks dangerous. Raptors and Ferrothraxes. So we're just going to take on these guys by themselves. I don't know what they're doing, but it's wrong. And there we are. There we are. Come on. Use that skill. It does damage to everybody. See, look at that. All their life goes down, and they all get owned so quickly. It's good stuff. But she won't rapid fire cast him. Makes me upset. Saurian bones, victory tokens, all kinds of good stuff. And yeah, when I actually vanquished this, I vanquished it last night, or attempted to vanquish it last night, and I got screwed. I ended up aggroing 2 groups of the Simians, which are 2 of the most dangerous groups of the Simians. We'll take those on after we kill this boss up here. Earth Porter. Mobrin Earth Porter, and so they ended up killing me, which I was okay with, and I respawned to the nearby Resurrection Shrine, which is right up here by the little Hecate Cave thing, whatever it's called. Or you do Vex War or Griff's War, and if you don't get the reference to that, look up Red versus Blue. It's hilarious. And I think we might have to take these guys out first, just to keep them from getting too close. May as well, right? Get our undead mixed in there. We do blinding and other annoying stuff. They run around like idiots, but hey, they're monkeys. What do you expect? And so, as I was saying, what happened is that once I respawned, I was like just out of range of the group, conveniently, just barely out of range. And I was like, "Oh, I spawned there. I'm safe. I'm good. I'll just wait here until they move on, and then I'll be able to pick the group apart." And then Vec and Master of Whispers decided that they just Leroy Jenkins it right back out into the fight, and they drew him right on top of the Resurrection Shrine, and I basically got screwed really badly by that. So here we go. Pain Inverter on you, and then we'll rush in and do the 1-2 punch. Oh, I guess he is actually a dervish. I misunderstood based upon his name. Silly me. So that boss is dead. And the Patch of Simian Fur, Patch of Simian Fur. The trick to the spiders, you have to deal with Life Weavers. The spiders have never really been that scary to me. The trick with them is to just make sure you bring enough DPS. One of the things that can help with that is stuff like Scourge Healing also. Scourge Healing is really good if you want to bring some Smiting Prayers with you. And the reason I'm continuing on this way is because what pretty much always kills me every single time, almost without fail, is these groups of simians that are up here. You get a mixture of Spirit Callers and Storm Callers, and then the Red Hand Simians, which is a good mixture of like melee and caster. And the Spirit Callers actually have a resurrection skill as well. And we don't actually care about that small group so much. It's that group down there that we care about. So we're going to go ahead and just aggro the smaller group, get them to come back up here, if they will, which they won't. So we're going to move all the way over here. We're going to basically move right up to the entrance of Bogroot Growths. So that way we could be well out of the way, and that group right there is what we're going to fight. Cloud Touch Simian, that's it. And there we are. There we are. We're good on that. And you see how many of them come for us? So we're immediately going to Pain Inverter the Cloud Touch Simian, because they don't have any monks, they don't have any proper hex removal. And we're going to kill him first, because we hate them. And that group right over there patrols at one point very, very, very close to them and can make defeating them nigh impossible. So Whispers has gone down at this point. Livia has gone down as well. We've got one more Spirit Caller that we need to make sure doesn't get a chance to res anybody. And Honeycomb, yay, that can remove some death penalty if you need to. So the idea is, as I was explaining the story earlier of how I failed miserably, I came back this morning and I basically headed straight here and killed all of the simians before I did anything else. And after that I went to go take out Mobrin, Lord of the Marsh. And I think before Mobrin I did actually cut over and kill some of the Hecate to remove some death penalty. But at that point, basically, Master of Whispers ended up dying like 3 times in one fight, and he spent almost the entire rest of the game at like more than 55% death penalty, or not the rest of the game, but you get the idea, the rest of the Vanquish. And so what we're going to do here is Pain Inverter, Fevered Dreams. Actually, Fevered Dreams might do better right there. And let's see what we can do. Probably not very much. We want the tightly packed group, but basically not having those extra Spirit Callers really goes a long way in making this something we can deal with. So there goes Whispers again. That's okay. We'll go ahead and put Pain Inverter on you and move along. So that's that group. Those are those two groups. If I encounter them both simultaneously, just tear me apart every time, and they're so close to this Resurrection Shrine right over here that that it's possible to have them actually spawn on top of your face, or have you spawn underneath their feet, I guess is the way it would be. And yeah, as I was saying, the last and final boss is a Hecate boss, and since we've gone this far, I may as well just go kill him too. Why not? And then I'll leave it to you to figure out how to do the rest of the enemies here. Raptors. I'm going to avoid the spiders, actually. I'm about to head right into the spider forest. We may pick up some of them as well. We'll see. The raptors first, if they come close enough. Because we don't want them messing up our fun. Oh, stay away from my Gwen. Oh. See, how come everyone's allowed to go in the trees except me? So there's like not even anything I can do about that. That's a bug that I actually kind of dislike about this zone. But what you gonna do? Hopefully not take on encounters right next to trees, because they don't save you at all. Spirit of Life. Oh, I gotta take these guys out. And Fever Dreams, or Fragility, actually has like a pretty quick recharge, so that's a good one to just sort of pummel them with. I'm very fond of that skill. You may wonder why I chose to put that on the Necro, and I don't really have a very good reason. I think one of them is I wanted Livia to be part of the build so that I could have 3 Necros in my build and not do Sabway. It was something like that. That was one of the reasons for that decision. Also, I don't feel like I need to have more points than 12 in Illusion Magic, because Fever Dreams works just fine, just like that. Fragility works just fine. Epidemic is not even an attribute-related skill, and the point of this one is to just have... I think it was just more degeneration, and it's the only deep wound related skill that I've got on anybody's skill bar. And then I followed it up with some curses and some soul reaping. So the soul reaping is good for the energy management here, which is a big part of it. And then the curses, we've got Envenom enchantments, because I don't really have any proper enchantment removal. Ulcerous lungs, because I do bleeding with Aura Slicer all the time. And then I've got basically a second character with Mark of Pain, so that we can have more damage dealt all around, because Mark of Pain is amazing. And yeah, I think we've done enough damage to the simians, so... Let's head up here to the spider forest, and I'll show you what I mean by the life weavers and the venom weavers. There's a life weaver right there. I think we might have to take on this. Okay, we got lucky with that. The life weaver, I basically just go for the life weaver first, and he'll remove any hexes. So don't bother with Pain Inverter unless you just have the energy to spare, as this build will actually allow that to happen. But we can go ahead and just like throw it on the Venom Weaver for fun. And once the Life Weaver is gone, the rest of the spiders are just easy, really easy to deal with. The Simians, however, not quite as much. But it's just a few of them, so... They just think they're awesome because they're water Ellies, which get more hit points in hard mode than they once did. Something like that. Got our hard apple cider, our bottle rocket. Oh, and we do have a spirit caller there, trying to use Flesh of My Flesh, but we just make fun of him for that. And we've even still got a spider. So those guys aren't too bad. It's basically those, as I was mentioning, right up by the Resurrection Shrine, those 2 groups there. I basically die if I don't pull one of them far, far away from the patrol route of the other, because they patrol so closely to one another that it's just, I just die. It's just what happens. I don't know how else to put it. Weapon crew member. Crewy. How can I help you?
Excelsior!
Excelsior! Who are we looking for here? See, I don't even remember this guy's name. They have such weird names. Those are simians. Agari, 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 Agari. I think that's going to be the indication. And then what just happened there is there are also these little like spouts. Oh, we aggroed some of them. I'll show you how pathetically easy these guys are. See, why are you not using these skills? I don't understand it. I hate you so much, Livia. Just, I mean, not in general, just right now. Ah, I thought I saw something interesting, but it was not what I thought. Where are you? It's going to be some name that doesn't start with Agari. That's how that works. Oh, and then they're going to be attacking my spirits way over there, but I don't care. Venom Weavers. Oh, the Venom Weavers, the spiders will actually fight the Agaris, so you can see the little counters pop up periodically. That's probably what's causing it. You're somewhere in here, I know it. I don't remember. I apologize. No. Nope. Aha, I was going to say. Oh no, 2 groups of them. We'll be okay, right? I'm sure we'll be fine. Master of Whispers. Letting me down as usual. They do kind of scatter like bunnies. Or roaches. Hecate. Yes, Hecate do return in Guild Wars 2, if you wondered. And you can actually... Some of them are your friend or something like that. There we are. This isn't too bad. So it may be beneficial to not aggro them all the same way that I just did. Yeah, keep casting those skills. Livia, I'm looking at you. Every time they recharge, just use them again. Those are like the pinnacle of that whole build. So as this turns out, this is actually much more than I was planning on doing in the first place. So I don't want to vanquish this whole zone on the clock, I guess it would be, as a manner of speaking. So that doesn't happen. I already did that once today. Sadra's Ashes. You pick those up and they give you like an energy bonus or something. You can hold them up to 300 seconds and then you drop them and it heals everybody for 200 or something like that. So those are kind of cool. Ow. I swear there's a boss. I'm not imagining this. I know it. He's around here somewhere. Might help if I actually knew what his name was, but this is it. This is the borderlands of the area, so we're about to take these guys on. May as well deal with them. Get some fragility on there. There we go. Now you all get to take damage every time I apply one of these conditions to all of you. And Epidemic's fun too. Something like that. Good stuff. Amphibian robe. I'm gonna actually look it up. Okay, so I apologize. I was kind of on the right track. But as it turns out, the boss that I'm looking for is like right over next to where it says Sparkfly Swamp on the map. So we're going to cut over that way, which I think the easiest way is going to be to go take out the 2 people that are supposed to be guarding the Borderlands. Oh, there he is, right there. I was on track. Let's make sure that we don't aggro this group right here. Guys good? Not going to start any trouble? I don't like the way they're looking at me. I gotta get rid of them. I gotta clear them out. They're getting too close. They're making me nervous. Come on. Yep, there you go. You're starting to get it. Got your blazing finale right here. I'm chasing you down with it. If you guys run it and aggro that group, I'm going to be so mad. Okay, there we go. See, on the Borderlands, they have like little groups of 2, like just a pair of guys that stand together. And so I saw this right here, and I thought that's what it was, and I didn't decide to venture further. And it turns out that that's like, if I just use my eyes, that's like their camp right there, and that's where the boss is. Ware Skullflayer, who's a mesmer. And we'll just pick these guys off because they're going to be pretty easy. Master of Whispers has been taking a beating once again. I don't know what his affinity is to death, but... ooh, Grog. There we are. That's you. We're going to do Pain Inverter, and we may as well put Fragility on you. Xandra looks like she's going to die, but we don't care about her, do we? No. Ether Feast. None of that. I'll just keep pummeling you. Xandra, get your act together. Migraine. So he's sort of obnoxious, as is the case with anybody that uses Migraine. Oh my god, you guys are upsetting me now. This is not good. This is not good. I'm all making fun of him, calling him pushovers and stuff. Look at that. I just got owned because of my hubris. It better spawn me right here or I'm gonna cry. Oh, look at that. Come on, Elias. Seriously? What's going on with you? He's got Conjure Phantasm. You weren't dead when we resurrected? Oh well. So anyway, let's make our way back down there. I'm determined now. That upsets me. That upsets me on a gamerly level. Not like I'm angry at the game, but like, dang it, I should have been able to kill him, and I botched it. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, we don't want that. Let's go ahead and take these guys on. Now I'm distracted, which is maybe worse. And Elias is getting pummeled. Yeah, I'm a little off now. Whispers. So this is about the point where you might say, maybe I should use some death penalty removal so that I don't keep getting killed over and over again. Because it just keeps getting worse. Basically, the more death penalty you get, obviously it's going to be the harder to stay alive. If you can remove a little bit of it by killing some Hecate before it gets to this point, then you're usually going to be okay. But we're in a bad situation, And I'd say basically don't worry about it too much if you're just vanquishing for like the Zaishin Vanquish or just vanquishing for fun. But if you are actually just trying to get through all of the vanquishes so that you can get the Legendary Master of the North title, then it helps to just sort of bring like some Power Stones of Courage or some other consumables with you, just so that you can get that edge. You get through the content faster that way, and whoa, and it's just generally less frustrating. You have like less chance of failure, and so you're not going to mess up like after spending 45 minutes on it and then just have to start over. And all you have to show for it is a backpack full of loot. Nobody wants that. It's a good way to keep things in perspective though when you're like, dang it, I messed that up, all that time wasted, and then you look in your backpack, you're like, oh, I got like 3 gold items and I got 2 lockpicks. Oh, speaking of which, oh, no chests nearby. I still have some lockpicks left over. But that actually was a favorable engagement because they just ran straight in on my spirits. And we'll put pain inverter on you and attack you. Ezza from above! I feel like something, that was some lag it looked like. We get that here sometimes. We're just fighting some undead minion over here. Like, I got this, guys. Till I showed up, you might have. Oh, look at that. Another lockpick. All lock picked up and no chest to open. Where is one? No, yeah, no. Okay. We got those guys. I do a lot of zigzagging if I'm trying to cut through the marsh. One of the things is if you are doing the bog root growths, I like to cut through the marsh and just sort of maybe cut up through the spiders, because then you basically just don't have to deal with fighting all of the dinosaurs, because you can get all the way up this left side without encountering them at all. Alright, this time I'm not going to immediately target that dude. See, I don't want to lose that bottle of grog. No way, no how. And I'm at 2% death penalty. That's not too bad. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, we'll get this going on. Get them all bunched together. It shouldn't be too bad. Get all that weakness, because they do just have a lot of melee right here. And it helps that the lag isn't messing everything up for me. What's my average ping right now? We're having some network problems. 288 milliseconds. Good thing I'm not playing Call of Duty. So that's that. That's the 3 bosses dead. And the rest of it is just sort of clockwork at that point. You can just kind of clean them up as you feel appropriate. It is my son. We can just marvel for a moment at how totally awesome this environment looks. And it looks pretty sweet in Guild Wars 2 as well, so go ahead and pre-purchase that game and enjoy it because it's amazing. I actually got a message a little while ago where somebody was asking me if I was having Guild Wars 2 problems, which is confusing because it's not out. And there's no event going on right now. In any case, I guess I did make this a little bit lengthier than I was originally intending, but I got the important part out of the way first, and I guess I just wanted to follow it up with some more content. You guys are causing clipping errors. You're messing up my outro. Get out of here, Elias. And yeah, so, whoa! I guess I will be playing some Call of Duty. Wait, turn around. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Works for me. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped to build a little bit of confidence, because that Tyrannus boss is not as totally unreasonable to kill as it may seem, and you can do it too. So especially on normal mode, if you're just trying to get past him and you encounter him, don't sweat it too much. I died to him many times before I found out that I was actually capable of murdering him the way that I did. And keep enjoying the game. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that that you want a little tutorial for, that you want help with, or just if you want to say, hi, that hood looks ridiculous. Why did you spend so much money on it? And you will see me later.